Hi, this is Jacques Talk, and you're listening to Jacques Talk. This is a podcast where I talk about the Cowboys, the team I've covered as a beat writer, columnist, TV insider, and radio host for 28 years. I'll also talk about the NFL and the things I love, working out, streaming, food, and all things down. Welcome to Jacques Talk, where sports is fluid. What's true today might not be true an hour, a day, or a month from now. I'm going to give you the truth straight, no chaser. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get it. Welcome to episode 69 of Jacques Talk. Jacques Taylor, joined by my boy Big Joe in the Big Rig. We hope you are prepared to be entertained and dazzled for the next hour or so as we get into the 5 plays that shaped the Super Bowl. Little Mike Zimmer talk. And then, with Valentine's Day coming up, we got to take care of you on that tip. And then Joe got a controversy he wants to talk about. That being said, 69, dog? Anything come to mind?
Phil Paz Derek.
Phil Paz Derek.
Roger that. Or Bruce Collie, UTA. The 49ers, Bruce Collie from UTA.
I don't even...
You don't remember him, but you'll remember he was a big tackle. Center? He was a big tackle from UTA. Him and Tim McKyer came from UTA.
Just stop. I don't even heard of Bruce Collie.
Yeah, well,
I guess some guy did he play? Who did he play for?
San Francisco. Him and Tim McKyer played for the 49ers.
Okay, let me tell you this. See, Joe does this to me. Ordinarily, I would not do this. I have an image of a Bruce Collie in my head. That image comes from a 1975 Topps football card. I'm going to see if the image in my head matches the football card. I don't know that it will, but now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, he was 69 for the 49ers.
Nah.
Go ahead.
Nah, this is not the guy I was thinking about. But I'm so impressed. Well, at one point he wore 68 for the 49ers, and at one point he wore 69. So yeah. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by all of that because I never heard of Bruce Collie. I was thinking more of a Dallas Cowboys friend of mine, even though it's kind of a spare player, was George Hegeman.
Big dude. Big George Hegeman.
George Hegeman was one of the biggest dudes I had ever seen.
Yes, indeed.
He like 6'7", 330.
Yeah.
Or maybe 350.
Yeah.
He was a huge man. And he once he stopped playing, he did a lot of work at the NFLPA, and then for a while he was in charge of football operations, probably for about 3 or 4 years at IMG, the football part. One of the best high school football programs in America, and he was down there running that football program. But there's our number 69.
I saw him at Valley. I saw him at Valley Ranch when I went out there that time with you, and I got to see Dion. I got to see a lot of players. Charles Haley, Dion. Him and Chad Hennings was two of the bigger people I ever seen.
Yeah, but Chad Hennings had a 6-pack. And, George was just big.
And I don't know how they got Chad Hennings. I don't know how the Air Force got Chad Hennings in an A-10, but they did. What you got to do right now, because time is running out. I was going to do it today, but the demand has been so high for these Maverick tickets that I'm going to bless y'all with an extra 24 hours. So we're going to do the drawing tomorrow morning. All right? And do it bright and early so you got time to tell your significant other, your homeboy, whoever you go into the game with, that you won these Mavericks tickets. But to enter for the drawing that I'm going to do tomorrow morning all you got to do is go to YouTube. Go to The Real Jacques Talk, subscribe, like, leave a comment. All you got to do to register. Subscribe, like, leave a comment at The Real Jacques Talk on YouTube. That registers you for the tickets. Go look up where the seats are. Section 115, row H, seats 1 and 2. Seats are fantastic, all right? I've sat in them. My dude has sat in them. They're fantastic. So you'll enjoy that on Valentine's Day night. That's all you got to do to register. Remember, you can find me on Twitter at JJT Journalist. I am Jacques Taylor is the handle. And then you can always find us on IG at The Real Jacques Talk. And so, I was reminded of this the other day. If you're ever involved in an accident and if somebody else is negligent, somebody else messed up and you have been hurt, what you got to do ASAP is get on the phone and call 972-934-8900, Screening Law. pick up the phone, you simply say, hey, here's the situation. Here are the details of what happened to me. And I'm telling y'all, man, they bring you on as a client. It's been a fantastic day for you. And here's why. They take care of everything. Literally everything. They ride with you. Because whenever you're going up against somebody else's insurance company, that thing can be tedious, can be intimidating, can be long, can be scary. There's a lot of things going on because you don't feel like you're in control all the time. Greening Law puts all that at ease for you. Seriously, they ride with you. And who don't want somebody riding with you? The other thing that they do is because they take care of everything for this reason. They want you focused on two things, healing and renewal, all right? Because they want you to get your mind right and get your body right and then get your life back. Start living it the way you used to live it before you got hurt. And the way they do that is you need a doctor, they take care of that for you. Set up an appointment for you. You need a specialist, they take care of that for you too. They take care of every single solitary thing you need. Why? They want you focused on healing and renewal. Get your mind right, get your body right, get your life back. And that's what they do at Greening Law. Now, I like to tell y'all all the time, real talk. You ain't got to take my word for nothing. You can go to greeninglaw.com. You can see all the awards that they've won on the website. You can see what people say about Robert Greening, the owner. You can hear all that. You can read all that. You can see all that. And then, when you're involved in an accident, and it doesn't matter whether it's in a car, you're at a place of work, a business, what you got to do is call 972-934-8900. Now that you've had some time to think about the Super Bowl, bro, is it, and this came up the other day, or yesterday, because I was listening to a few things. Was it a great game, or was it a great finish?
Man, that's a good question. I think it was a great game. I mean,
I thought it was a great game too.
The peaks and valleys, man. If you're the Chiefs fan and they ain't got it together right away, and do you want a blowout, or do you want to be sitting there bummed out, going, man, damn, I don't know, and then all of a sudden they get it together and they win. That's what make a great game to me. So yeah, it was a great game. I ain't gonna dissect it like that and say it was just a great finish. It was a great game.
No, I thought it was a really entertaining game, and so I was interested to hear some of the comments from people say, it was alright, and it didn't have this and didn't have that. I think what happened is we get so used to instant offense and spectacular offense because all the rules are tailored to offense. Sometimes you forget there's beauty in the struggle of a good defense or two good defenses making that other team struggle, making that other team do things that they don't want to do.
Yep.
And I thought it was a really even game for the most part, despite the ebb and flow. And like I read something yesterday that said, Pat Mahomes was pedestrian. He didn't even play that good the first three quarters.
Wow.
And my point for that is always, did Pat Mahomes play bad, or did San Francisco defense get after him and create instances where, San Francisco defense played good and that made him look bad for a period of the game? Because I wasn't sitting there going, oh, Mahomes is, terrible. He's missing guys who are wide open. I didn't get that feel. I thought San Francisco defense was just playing good. They've had a good defense at various times for most of this year. So, the score that I picked, 24, huh?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said the score that I picked, 24-20, was because really I thought it would be a defensive game.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. Well, it was the figure it out type.
And,
it was the beauty of the Chiefs figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? They
right.
struggled and then they figured out, all right, this is what we need to do. And they ran the same damn play at the goal line they ran like 3 times in the other Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? The corn dog, that motion is crazy. Where the guy looked like
that's a hard play to stop.
Well, it looked like he going all the way across the formation, and then he stopped. Well, by the time everybody recognized he going across the formation, it's like, okay, switch. And it's habit. It's ingrained in players to pass a guy off that's going in motion. As soon as they feel that, right. switch, then he stopped and he pivot the other way. That's crazy, man. But it keep getting them, though.
Well, that being said, we decided to give you guys, because a lot of you guys like this segment of the show, we decided to give you 5 plays that shaped the game. Because I didn't realize this, man. I just looked it up. There's 150 plays in this game. That's a lot of plays. Most games, I realize it went to overtime. Most games have about 115 to 125 plays in it.
Yeah.
Or maybe 120 to 130 plays, most games. So for them to have 150, that's a big number. Obviously went to overtime. And these are not always the most biggest plays that everybody remembers. But these are some plays that I believe, when I went back and looked at the game, really shaped the game that we might not be talking about because they got lost in the shuffle. Just a little bit. But, man, it's interesting. This play almost made it because San Francisco starts the game and they own one from the beginning. When McCaffrey goes for 6, and then they get the fullback goes for 18. He jumps up. He's all excited. And then McCaffrey gets 11. And then McCaffrey goes up the middle for 11. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, for me, watching football all these years, not that Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs were going to panic because they used to playing from behind. But when you can come out and set that tone and go up 7-0, it immediately puts the other team on edge like, dang, we got to go do something, or we on the verge of having a problem, 3 possessions into the game. And so when McCaffrey fumbles right then, I'm like, okay, they got kind of a reprieve, and now they can catch their breath. But that being said, 49ers go up 3-0 on Moody's 55-yard field goal. And then they push that lead to 10-0. Now, did you think there was an illegal man downfield on McCaffrey's 21-yard touchdown, which I call the worst-looking successful trick play in history?
Yeah, it was all over the place, right? It was a fire drill kind of, because it was like the throw was late and it was a long throw, and I thought it was pretty raggedy. So I'm pretty sure the guy was downfield, but sometimes them refs get caught watching the ball and seeing where stuff is and trying to get a good look at stuff. They don't see everything.
Well, McCaffrey scores on that trick play, touchdown pass from Juwan Jennings, the wide receiver. It's 10-0. It's 4:23 left in the half, and at this point, I look at the game two ways. I'm like, well, Kansas City, if they can score, even though they haven't really done much this whole first half, if they can score, get the ball back, and start second half, figure some things out and score again, they can tie it up at 10. Perhaps they'd be ahead 14-10, or perhaps they do neither, and now they got a real problem. And so at that point, they're moving the ball, and they're at the 45, but now it's 3rd and 9 after a false start. And I'm like, they're at their own 40, and all of a sudden my whole mentality switches to, if they don't convert this, they could really have a big problem, because now San Francisco is going to get the ball back with timeouts and opportunity to really take control of the game. But here's what happened.
Right now, that side has been very disruptive. Chase Young is dominated, and you're leaving one-on-one with Bosa.
Bosa coming around the corner. Holmes able to slip out of it and throw against his body. He's got his man. He's got Watson for a first down at the 39-yard line. As Mahomes able to improvise, we do have a marker back down near the line of scrimmage.
This will be on Warner. I think he was holding Kelsey. So this is going to be Mahomes extending.
Holding. Defense number 54. Penalty decline. Result of the play. First down.
Dude, did you hear that? Bosa's free. Mahomes got away from him, threw across his body.
Yeah.
And gets 21 yards on the first down to Watson. Huge play, because now they got the holding, so maybe they got the first down, but still, big difference between 20 yards. We did it on our own and got the first down at 5 yards, and we still haven't really moved the ball. But I think the 21-yard pickup really got them going a little bit and allowed them to set up. And to me, it was a big deal, man. Getting that field goal at the end of the half, we got some points on the board. No Super Bowl winner has ever been scoreless at time. So now you got that, you can make stats say whatever you want to, but now you got that out the way.
Well, it's classic. It's classic Patrick Mahomes, though. Do everything wrong that they used to coach out of you. running to your right, sling that thing back to the left. And boy, when they say football is a game of inches, Bosa just barely missed him. One of my favorite things about making 5 plays when you have me get the audio is seeing the game again. You know, seeing
right.
You know, when and I get to look at them 5 plays and kind of break them down mentally. Just a game of inches. Bosa, he almost got him. It's a whole different ball game. You know, if he get him, but yeah, he threw it back across the middle, across his body. It's Patrick, man.
That's typically what football is. It really is just a few plays here and there, and then when you go back and look at it, it is an inch here. I mean, it's the beauty of the whole game to me, and that's why I've enjoyed it so much over the years. But so Kansas City's down 10-3 at halftime, and now they got hope. Now that hope almost dissipated at the start of the second half. Your boy Pacheco fumbles the pitch to start the second half. They instantly got 2nd and 22. Then Mahomes is picked off. But at that particular time, they played some good defense. They forced a punt because to me the game was in the balance right then. But they forced a punt, and they end up trading field goals. But Kansas City somehow has a lead, 13-10, going into the fourth quarter. And now we're like, well, are they going to be able to keep it or not? And that's when the game really, to me, the tautness and the anxiety, depending on who you're rooting for, really amps up. And so it's 2nd and 9 from the Kansas City 10, and Purdy throws a touchdown pass to Juwan Jennings, who makes a really nice catch and run, gets into the end zone. And you know what, man? We forget that after the touchdown, you do have to do something.
So
here's what happened.
You gonna talk through the whole? Never mind, I got you.
1 second on the play clock. 2nd and 9. Purdy's pass. Caught. Jennings did it. What an effort breaking tackles. Now he's thrown for a touchdown and caught another.
All-out pressure. The blitz is on. You're in the Super Bowl. Down to Mahomes, the defending champs. And you stare down that pressure and you take it and throw a strike to give your team the lead. Oh, this was, you're going to take a hit. Watch right here. Backside, front side. But that's also a great job by Jennings, the extra effort, Jim. One-on-one.
How about the gamble working out with Kittle? Juwan Jennings, 17 of his 25 catches is Moody. Extra point. Oh, my goodness. No, it is blocked. How big is that now? A 3-point game.
Wow. Do you pay attention to the extra points these days?
Yeah. Since people started really missing them, you know, it seemed like earlier in the year everybody was missing the extra point because it used to be just automatic. You counted it, but now, it seemed like more than ever the kickers are missing them for odd reasons. Just
I think.
Go ahead.
Well, I think that was one of the better subtle rule changes that the NFL made. Took it from like 19 yards to 35 yards, 33 yards, which is not a hard kick, but it is a kick you have to think about. Yeah. And I think with the old extra point of 19 yards, you don't have to think about it. You just go up there, you kick it through. Win. It's not long enough for win or anything else to really affect it. And it was like 99.9%. Now, it's still upper 90s, but you do have to pay attention to it. Now, you know, Mr. Content Man David, former kicker at Alabama State and Incarnate Word, he's up there grinning because we finally got some kicker talk. But that's a huge play, man, because even though you scored a touchdown and you up, the difference between being up 17-13 and 16-13 is gargantuan because ain't no pressure if you Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs and all that needs a field goal. You got a terrific kicker.
Let me do some kicker talk right quick. Kickers are pesky. You know why? On defense, you hold a defense, you hold an offense, and you swear they're gonna punt. And a guy like Moody or a good kicker like Aubrey come out and kick a 55, 56 yard, 60 yard field goal. I mean,
right.
One of those is okay. We stopped him. 3 of those is like we ain't doing nothing. That's what I'm saying. Good kickers are pesky as hell. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I thought every time I see a 55-yarder as a former defensive player, I'm going, damn, you just can't keep points off the board these days. These guys are booming that ball.
And, the kickers are getting better, too. And so, it used to be, over 50 was maybe they get it, maybe they don't. But you got some guys in the league now, especially if you're in a dome, 50 ain't really no big deal, man. Mm-hmm. They can hammer it in from 50 to 55 without really much of a problem. And it's not that hard for a lot of them in a dome to hit it from 55 to 60. And we saw that with Brandon Aubrey this year. And we saw it in the Super Bowl where guys were booming 50-yard field goals like it wasn't nothing. So Kansas City drives. They try to score up on Butker's 24-yard field goal. And again, they trailing again because your boy Moody bangs one in from 53. And it's 19-16 with, a minute and some change left. But because it was just a field goal and Mahomes got the ball, I didn't really have no doubt that he was going to lead them to at least a field goal. Did you?
No. They was on their way to figuring out what San Francisco was doing. That's part of it, man. If you struggle all game, the genius of having a good coach and a good quarterback and them being on the same sheet of music is that eventually you can't fool them the whole game. It's how long can you fool them? And then they started figuring things out.
I'm going to ask you this. Travis Kelce, 1 catch, 1 yard the first half, finishes the game with 9 for 93. In the first half, they were bracketing him. What happened in the second half?
I think they started getting a lot of different matchups. And then Travis had the will to get open. But I don't know what the 49ers, we can talk about that because we got a play coming up that I really want to talk about. I don't know why they stopped bracketing him. Because I feel like Rice was kind of making some plays, but the other guys was okay. But the 49ers I think they got kind of blitz happy. They tried to really amp the pressure up on Pat because they kind of changed their defense in the second half a little bit. They changed because Kansas City was changing. Kansas City was figuring out what they was doing. And then the 49ers seemed like they went away from cover 6 so much and bracketing and rushing 4 to trying to blitz.
One of those blitzes resulted in a first down with 48 seconds. McKinnon goes for 7 yards, caught it right out the backfield on 3rd and 2.
Yep.
But then they had another 3rd and 7 with 16 seconds left. Now, this was crucial because you feel like, okay, if you don't get it, he going to hit the 50-yard field goal. But still, it's the Super Bowl. It's the end of the game. They're all human except for Mahomes. So there is some pressure. And so here's what happened on 3rd and 7 with 16 seconds left.
That has him go up and out. Somebody out here, put a guy in the flat, read high, low. Boom, boom.
3rd and 7. Kelce, who else? Taken off inside the 20, down to the 10-yard line with 9 seconds to go. And we got an injured defender.
That's the play I'm talking about, though. That's the one where they didn't bracket him. He lined up on Warner. Warner didn't get a hand on Kelce. Kelce did the biggest shake move. Boom, went inside. He ran a crosser, but there was no bracket. Either Warner missed him or Warner had another responsibility, but they quit bracketing him. And the biggest point in the game, they switched their defense up, which is not bad if you're not playing Patrick Mahomes. You probably gonna be okay doing that. But nah, it was a great play.
Let no big time. I was gonna say you can never let a big time receiver get a free release for whatever reason.
Yep.
At a critical moment, and then shake your head when he beats you, because it's all about, can I disrupt you just a little bit?
Yeah.
And if not, I mean, it's for an elite receiver. I mean, it's not even hard for him. And I mean, if we talk about it, that's part of the reason, even though he's played outside a lot more this year. But that's why when CeeDee Lamb's in the slot, he's just hard because he an elite route runner, elite receiver, and you can't put your hands on him. That's what creates problems for people. That drive ends in the game time field goal with 6 seconds left to send it into overtime. And again, you had some controversy about whether San Francisco should have took the ball or whether they should have deferred and known what they were going to do. I can see it either way. I don't think it was some egregious law was broken. Now, I think it's bad that your players didn't know the rules, which is in the playoffs, everybody gets the ball at least once. That being said, the interesting point to this was, and maybe Dan Orlovsky made this point, if you're San Francisco and you let Kansas City have the ball first, not only do you know whether you need a field goal or a touchdown so you can play accordingly. Now, I thought this was really interesting, and maybe you thought about it during the game. He said you also let me see how he said this. He said when you get the ball second, you got 4 downs. He said you don't want to give Pat Mahomes 4 downs. And what he's meaning for, obviously, is if you got to have a touchdown, it's 4-down territory as opposed to kicking a field goal. And so I thought that was real interesting that you don't ever want to give Mahomes that extra down to work with, even in this age of analytics where people go for it on 4th down much more frequently than they did back in the day. That being said, man, San Francisco went on an epic drive, which was helped on 3rd and 13. The Chiefs are off the field. They've got to stop. It's an incomplete pass. They're about to get the ball in good field position. All they're going to need is a field goal. And, we've seen this happen with the Cowboys 1,000 times, it felt like, this season. McDuffie gets called for holding. It's 5 yards. It's 1st down. And why I thought this was obviously a huge play because you get the ball. But now, you tired. It's overtime. It's a Super Bowl. You stressed out. And now we thought we was off the field. Now we got to get back on the field. And I could just feel like emotionally like it's a bit of a letdown. And then they started putting that running game on them, man. And I thought they were just going to move down the field and eventually score a touchdown. What do you think after that holding call?
Yeah, I thought they was going to score too. I thought it was going to be over. I thought we was done.
No. See, did you not know the overtime rule either?
Nah, not really. I thought about the Josh Allen. Then I thought about how disappointed Josh Allen was. Then it made me think about, you know what I'm saying? At first I thought, okay, sudden death. Then I thought, no.
Right.
We got to. That's why I call it myself the Josh Allen rule when he didn't get a chance to come back because he was everybody was disappointed about it, and that's what made the rule. That's why they made the rule change. So yeah.
So they banging, man. They banging. After that, McCaffrey goes for 3. McCaffrey goes for 5. They hit Ayuk for 11. He's celebrating. McCaffrey for 4. Then you knew McCaffrey was going to make that dude miss, even though they only had a foot on the sideline. He gave him the dookie stick, and he went for 24 down the sideline. And then he went for 8. And I'm just like, this looked like a video game here with McCaffrey. I don't know why they keep giving him the ball. And it was, so they end up with 3rd and 4 at the Kansas City 9. Biggest play of the game. And here's what happened.
A drive that has taken 7 minutes.
So you're going to kick a field goal most likely if you don't get any yards, okay? I'm not saying that's the right thing to do yet. We'll deal with that when it comes. But this is it. 3rd and 4. Use your legs. We saw him use it earlier with that spatial awareness, but you've got to go ahead and get a motion to get your best players off of their best players. Right now, their 2 best defenders are guarding your 2 best wide receivers.
McCaffrey in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Chiefs in on Purdy so fast he had to just unload it. So the drive stalls at the Chiefs' 5-yard line, and it was Chris Jones who really broke up the play, wrecked it.
Chris Jones. Your boy Ayuk, wide open in the middle of the field. Wide open, like no defender within like 2 or 3 yards of him.
Jennings was open on the right. But Brandon,
we can assume. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we can assume that that's a touchdown Brock Purdy got time to sit back there and throw.
For sure.
Instead, Chris Jones is on him so fast, the ball sails incomplete. He doesn't really even have a chance to really put anything on it. He just got to get rid of it. And, I'm going to take a very quick exit ramp. And here's why. Chris Jones has been a dude I've been looking at all year for one reason, and one reason only. He's a terrific player. And I don't know how he felt, but I felt mad for Chris Jones all year. Because Chris Jones had to hold out all the training camp to try to get his money, and he still didn't get his money. I mean, he signed some little deal where they gave him a pittance. I mean, something that they gave him where, bottom line is, he didn't get paid. And so he came back in somewhat with his tail tucked between his legs because he didn't get paid what he should be paid. Now, they all make a lot of money, so I'm not saying that. But, he had to fight and scrap for his money. And I hate it every time a billionaire owner makes a player who's elite at his position fight for his money. You want to fight among scrubs? That makes sense to me. But elite players, man, stop it. And so I was glad to see him dominate the game and at winning time perform at the highest level. And his pass rush on that particular play, was a game changer. What do you think about Chris Jones?
Yeah, I thought he was balling. He always been a baller. And me and you talked about that before, how they dogged him out, how he was sitting in the stands during preseason. And he
was in the luxury box.
Well, okay. He wanted to be down on the field. At some point you say, oh, they ain't going to give me my money. F it, I got to just come back anyway. If I don't come back soon enough, I'm not going to be in shape to play this game and dominate like I usually do. So he, like you say, he just came back like, all right, give me whatever y'all want to give me, what y'all think is reasonable, and begrudgingly, I'm going to be with my boys and I'm going to get down. Let's go.
Right. And that's really what I'm getting at. It's that to me is the whole deal. And so, and again, for a normal person, he made a ton of money. But we're talking about athletes where quarterbacks make $55 million a year. So don't try to compare it to your salary and my salary because it ain't going to make sense to you. But we're talking about in the world that they live in, he's not playing for the money that he deserves. That being said, his play on third down forces San Francisco to kick a 27-yard field goal. It's good. And now Mahomes got the ball. And I loved it, man. Because you knew the kickoff was going to go out of the end zone. So Mahomes got the ball 75 yards away from a legacy solidifying win. And yes, 2 Super Bowls is great. But 3 puts you in rare air. It puts you up there with Aikman, with Montana, with Bradshaw, with Brady. All right? And then it really means that the only ones who have more are Bradshaw, who got 4, and Brady, who got 7. Or is it 6? 6 or 7. So I wanted to see him operate, man. And then Mahomes does his thing. On that 4th and 1 from the 34, they got the read option. He keeps the ball, goes for 8. It's the first down. And then, dog, they end up with another 3rd down and 6 situation. And you're like, in 4-down territory. That's what we were talking about when Orlovsky was saying you don't want to give it to him second because then he could take all 4 downs. And, it's 3rd and 6 at the Kansas City 46. Here's what happened.
Holmes goes over 300 yards with that completion. He's got a 3rd and 6.
They come after him when they've been up in here. I expect them to drop out this time. Oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Up ahead he goes. Rice has the first down, and he's out of bounds at the 40.
I don't know why you do it. I love the idea of putting them all up in there and pretending But why? Mahomes can feel. He's played long enough now. He's going to look people off to get the leverage where he wants it. And Mahomes showing why he's so hard to beat. You had a second and long, a third and long. Nope. He erased that in a second.
So I got two things.
Dog, why Tony sound so pained, man?
Yeah, I got two things. One is kind of, I'm impressed that you pulled that play out the whole thing, because it's kind of scary when me and you start thinking on the same thing, thinking the same thing. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I like that play that you pulled out there, because earlier we talked about how they changed defense, and Tony was like, "Oh, don't do that." And he was like, "Why? Because they bought him up, and you think, I know they're not coming. Surely they're not bringing it. They brought everybody, and the Chief blocked it up, and Rice ran a little crosser, and that was your ass right there. It's like, why y'all do that? Why y'all switch up? You was taking everybody out the game with cover 6, rushing 4, because Chase Young was having the game of his life. We talked about how he was underachieving. He was him and Bosa. Yeah, Randy Gregory was out there playing good. That's crazy.
Right.
But the pass rush was getting there, and they was disrupting, but they changed it up. And that's why Tony was like, why? That was some good shit from Tony right there. Don't do that.
That's a huge first down.
Yeah, don't do that.
Nope. That's SMU's Rashee Rice.
Richland,
he goes for the 13-yard.
Richland Hills, Rashee Rice.
See, I forgot about that part.
Yes, sir.
Bad.
Yes, no, I'm
they
just
get the
adding
first down
to.
at the 41.
I'm just adding to my brother.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
And then 6 plays later, Mahomes goes to Hardeman in the corner of the end zone. 3 yards, touchdown, legacy secured. And I keep talking about the legacy because, again, even during the game, man, I was like, it just feels like there's such a huge difference between winning 3 out of 4 and 2 out of 4. In part because it's so hard to win. Once again, man, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, 2 of the best to ever do it, only won it once. And the thing about it is, this wasn't no great Kansas City team.
No.
I mean, this was not one of those teams. When the Madden Championship Edition come out, everybody running about, oh, yeah, man, let me go play with them 24 Chiefs. Yeah. Everybody finna do all of that.
Yeah.
They just not. It's a bunch of pedestrian guys for the most part at receiver and aging Kelsey at
you don't want
tight
that.
end.
Yeah, you don't want that Kansas City Chiefs. You don't want to play Madden with that team. No, not at all. Not at all.
You might want to play with young Kelsey and Cheetah out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But this one, you ain't gonna want to play with, and that to me is the greatness of this performance. Pat Mahomes, I think Romo said it. It's like watching Jordan on the football field, man.
Yeah.
In total control, and it's different than watching Brady. Brady was the GOAT, is the GOAT. Brady was a lot more surgical, moving up and down and side to side in the pocket. But Mahomes, with them crazy arm angles and all the stuff he can do running when called upon, he is a dude. He's just unbelievable.
They both get the job done, but I think what you're saying is Patrick is more exciting doing it. He look just kind of what you were saying earlier in the week, where it looked like they having more fun. The Patriots don't have no fun. But Tom is Tom. Tom getting it done. But Patrick damn near look like Roger Staubach sometimes when he running around, scrambling and all of that stuff. It's just good stuff, man. Like I say, he created his own style, because I give credit to Andy Reid, who's coached a lot of guys like that, McNabb and Michael Vick, and now Patrick Mahomes, where I'm result oriented. I don't care how you get it there, back across the field. The one throw, remember the drive that Pacheco fumbled on? The one throw that Pat made across the field to I think it was McCole Hardman, where he just gunned that thing about 40 yards in the air across his body.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell? In the past, that would be a no. Oh, good throw. But you just Patrick got give credit to Andy Reid for going. If you see it, throw it. I don't care. Go ahead. The freedom.
No, it was. If you got a guy like that, you have to let him play free.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
Well, how many times? How many times in the past that they have been coached out of quarterbacks? Guys got moved to receiver, hint, or defensive back because they got a strong arm, but they're not doing it the way it's conventionally supposed to be done.
Yeah, no, I think that's it's much more what used to be than it is now.
Roger that.
Because people accepted the fact that mobile quarterbacks, black quarterbacks, dual threat quarterbacks is the way to go.
Yep.
And there's no doubt that makes sense. The way that we've seen them play and perform.
Patrick makes people back up. He made the defense so aware of his arm, you forget that he's dual threat, and he just kind of pulls it out when he's ready. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do. Y'all forgot, right? I can run a little bit. Hence the zone read on 4th and 1, on 4th down. That was crazy. It's like you know what I'm saying. I find myself forgetting that he can scoot a little bit.
No, he just scoot when it's time to scoot.
Yep.
He's an efficient scooter. How about that?
I guess.
But that's
it sounds like some senior citizen stuff.
That's the Kansas City Chiefs 25-22 overtime victors. What is it? 3 championships in the last 5 years, 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls they've been in there. They are the team of they're the next dynasty. We'll see how many that they end up getting. But that's 5 plays that shaped the Super Bowl. We talked about this a bit the other day, man, because Mike Zimmer deal is done.
Wait, can I say I'm gonna miss 5 plays, man. I'm kind of bummed out, though. I like 5 plays, though.
Don't be bummed out, man.
I missed it. That's some good shit right there, though, man. I like that, man.
We may bring it back for the Mavericks during the playoffs.
Oh, you do 5 plays for basketball?
Yeah. You could do 5 plays for basketball.
Okay, then. All right, then. Good.
We're only limited by our creativity.
Roger that.
So we talked about this the other day. Mike Zimmer gets a job, and I told you, that Rex Ryan was really trying to get this job.
Hell no.
Called his boy Mike McCarthy, and I just want to read y'all the quote from Rex Ryan, because I read this quote because you hear Rex Ryan. Okay, I know he's been out for a minute, but okay, Rex Ryan can't coach some defense. But then I heard this quote out his own mouth. This ain't something that a reporter said. This is him talking. And here he goes. I've been out for 7 years. I never called another head coach or anything like that. I called Mike McCarthy. And the reason I did is because I want to be on this stage. I want to be back on this stage if I'm going to get back into coaching. Of course, there's no bigger, I think with this roster, the way it is, I think offensively, special teams, and defense, I figured I could make it even a little bit of an upgrade, that they could be right here at the Super Bowl. That's why I was interested. No, dog, you said it first. You just want the shine that comes from being a part of the Dallas Cowboys. That's your number one objective. Put some shine on Rex. Y'all think it's bad that Jerry outshadows the coach? Let Rex Ryan be here, man. Everything would be about Rex, man. He would just be putting on a show. Football would be secondary. Coaching would be secondary. It would all be about Rex. And to me, that could never fit with McCarthy. Because McCarthy is fine at what he does, but McCarthy is not necessarily. McCarthy is more of a subdued guy when it comes to personality. He's got some, but he's not Rex, where it's all about me and it's all about my show and let me tell everybody how great I am on a regular basis. And if he was the head coach, okay, you can live with that. As an assistant coach, man, you don't want that, Because you're going to have to, you think it's bad, you got to spend half your time reacting to what Jerry said. Now you got to react to what Jerry says, and you got to react to what Rex says. No. No need for him in Dallas. He's an egomaniac, and it just is just not a good look in Dallas.
Well, his first mistake was he called the wrong person. What are you calling Mike?
You should call Jerry if you want the job.
Yeah, if you want the job, you should have called Jerry. Mike ain't making that decision. Jerry making that. That's what I think. I don't know. You can do better than me, but I think that Mike Zimmer's perfect because I'm saying something, but I'm asking you at the same time. It seems to me like Mike is not the guy like Rex would be. Mike don't seem like it. Seems like when the press talk to Mike Zimmer, he's kind of always reluctant to talk. You know, like it's almost like you got to pull them words out of him. You know what I mean? That's kind of the image that I get. Like probably when you talk to him or text him and y'all reported that y'all just by yourself. But when he on that camera, it's like I just want to get this shit over with. You know, and then get back to what I'm doing.
He's not an attention hound like Rex.
Right.
Now he'll talk.
Right.
But he's not actively out there seeking cameras and seeking attention and trying to take away from everything else and putting it all on him. But, I mean, it's like any quality coach. He got an ego.
Yeah.
And, but I think with him, you get a guy who, and you've talked about this numerous times, who because of his flexibility and understanding defense and defensive schemes, he can match the personnel. And he can fit whatever he wants to do with the personnel that you got.
Yeah.
And make something and make it work. And so when you talk about stopping the run, because that's the number one question. How do you stop the run? And he told me that stopping the run, now check this out. You can probably get down with this. This is what Zimmer told me about stopping the run. He said it's about a mentality, technique, and scheme.
Yep.
And, the mentality is about, well, what do you mean it's about a mentality? And I think what that is driving home, not just with talk, but with word, action, and deed. Teams ain't running the ball on us. It's not something that happens. We're just not going to allow it to happen. And if you don't have that same mentality, then you can't play for me. And it becomes just that simple. In terms of driving home the mentality. And then when you talk about technique, football is the most technique game ever. Step with this foot. Why you got to step with that foot? Well, if you step with this foot, it allows you to do A, B, and C. Everything matters. Put your hands right here. Not 5 inches to the left or 5 centimeters to the left. Put your hands right here. So that allows you to do A, B, and C. And when you do all these things, that allows you to play perfect technique, and when you play perfect technique, you're able to succeed more than you fail in this game of football. And so he's a technique expert. He does not yield on technique. And all of that, if you get the mentality right and you get the technique right, and then you put the scheme with it, that allows you to be significantly better against the run than these Cowboys have been. And I think with this team, that gives you a shot.
So I think Deion would attest to Mike Zimmer and technique, because when he got here to Dallas, Mike had him doing a lot of good stuff. And I think they became friends, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Deion's technique, his technique was okay when he was other places, but when he got here, he played hurt. He had a lot of hamstring stuff and different things going on, and that's where technique come in handy. See, when you healthy, you can get away with playing bad technique. You can get away with that because you can recover so many ways. But when you start getting older, or you start getting injured, or you start getting things that hamper your athletic ability, that's where technique come in, right there. And I thought Deion played through a lot of stuff when he was here. I don't think people really appreciate him. I don't mean to go on an exit rant, but he played with a lot of injuries when he was here, and he played well too. But then, and a lot of that is Mike Zimmer with the technique, with a lot of technique and stuff. I think Deion credited him. That's why I got to give him a little praise, because Deion credited him with teaching him a lot of stuff. And that's high praise from Deion.
Yeah, it is. And, the other thing Dion will tell you about Zim is Zim didn't treat him no different than he treated Kevin Smith.
Right.
And no different than he treated Alundis Bryce.
Right.
Alundis Bryce. Alundis Bryce.
Was that Mississippi
the
State?
The fact that I'm talking about Alundis, yeah. Him and...
no, Mississippi. Ole Miss. He was Ole Miss, I think. Anyway, I'm sorry.
What I mean is he didn't play no favorites. Everybody got coached hard the same.
Right.
Everybody got focused on the same.
Right.
You got to do it. You got to do it the right way. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what's required. And if you can coach, and this is what I mean. If you can coach Dion hard, then I can coach everybody hard.
Right.
It's the same way, Popovich used to tell Tim Duncan, hey, I got to be hard on you today, man, in practice, so be ready.
Yeah.
Because I got to be hard on you, so I can be hard on everybody else. And so we get back to the whole Micah conversation. And there was some reports that came out, and I don't know these, but these were some reports that came out that, he didn't practice hard all the time. Sometimes he took a little time off in practice here and there. Well, that won't happen under Zimmer. He's going to hold everybody to the same standard of effort and practice, and that alone may make this a better defense. And so, yeah, he old school and he hard, but I'm a firm believer in this, man. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about the generation I grew up in, the generation my parents grew up in, the generation my son grew up in. And when people say, "Oh, you can't treat kids like this, you got to treat them a certain way," I beg to differ. If you treat them in a way where you're hard on them, but you can get them to understand why you're doing what you're doing. I think all kids like discipline. I think all kids need discipline. It's just how you administer it.
You think they like it?
Because I think, maybe this. I think they learn to like it. Maybe they don't like it initially. But I think when you hold boundaries and standards to kids, ultimately it makes them better. And they don't have to like it per se, but I think they can appreciate it.
Let me clean up.
And they might not appreciate it when they're younger.
Let me clean that. There you go. I was going to say clean that up because they don't like it when they kids per se. But when they get older, they understand it. And they damn sure supposed to if they don't. Yeah, I agree with that. I was thinking, them kids don't want you. They don't want to cut no grass, and they don't want to do nothing for their damn allowance if they got one. But once they go to work, and then work ain't nothing to them when it ain't nothing for them to do work when they actually get a job. They appreciate you taught their ass how to work. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. Right. Yeah, you got to where I want you to get to on that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And so I think coaching is the same way with players. Because Michael Parsons was like, you can't. Now, and I get with him on some of this, but for me, it's a personality thing. Meaning, Michael was like, because what did somebody say? Somebody said, I can't remember what the circumstance was, but Michael was basically saying, you can't talk to this generation of people the same way you used to talk, to another generation of kids because, all that cussing people out and this and that don't work with this generation. And I'm not really opposed to what he said with that because I never believed in coaches cussing you out and all of that and trying to dehumanize you and all of that in their way of making you tough. That whole Bobby Knight approach, I always thought that was BS.
If you putting your hands on somebody and all of that stuff, Bobby Knight would have got his ass whooped. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't, and this is just me. Now, I had a boss like this, and I referred to this boss. I had a friend of mine who was trying to get a job at the Morning News, and I said, "Dog, you can't work here." He said, "What you talking about? I said, "Dog, it's not even about it's not about your talent and can you write and do all of that stuff." I said, "Dog, this culture here, man," I said, "the dude running the show is like Bobby Knight, man, and you ain't going to be able to handle it. You going to snap."
Didn't you say he was ex-military? Was he ex-military or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so, I was like, this ain't the right fit for you, man. And, it's like even when I had my kids, I yelled at them. Occasionally I cussed at them. But I was that dude that was always, you're not dumb, that was a dumb decision that you made. That was a dumb act that you made. But you're never dumb. And, you can say, well, that's slight, but to me it was always important. And then I was always an explainer. Like, here's why you're doing this. Here's why you got in trouble. Here's this. Now, we've talked about this twice. Now, the second time, this third time, there's not going to be any talking. It's just going to be, it's just going to be the circumstances that you fell into.
Oh, you got that number one tool.
That.
The number one tool in your belt is what?
I don't know. What is it?
That good old ass whooping.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that other stuff is great. But when we grew up together as fathers, so hey, the number one thing was, hey, if I gotta go to this, all that other stuff is moot. I try to tell you like 3 times not to do that.
Well, we had a system. Like, first time we talk about, explain, hey, I don't like this behavior.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Second time is, hey, we've talked about this behavior and why I don't like it. Okay? And here's the deal. If I see this behavior again, I'm going to whip that ass, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Then, hey, what's going to happen if you do this behavior again? I'm going to get a spanking. Am I going to ask any questions? No. Okay. So are you going to do this again? No. Okay. Just so we clear. I just want to see one more time. What's going to happen if you do this behavior again? I'm going to get a spanking. Okay. So we good. Let's hug it out. Go and get back to doing what you're doing. And for the most part, that was good. And every now and then, maybe 6 weeks later, you forget. Now I'm on your ass.
Yeah, my conversation mine went like this right here. Look here, man. I'm trying to sit at this kitchen table, eat this church's chicken right here in these jalapenos. But no, you got to go do something to make me stop watching TV and doing what I like to do. I'm playing video games, eating this damn chicken. Now I got to stop and come. I gotta do that part. I like being your daddy. I don't like the parenting where I got to discipline you. And, you get in trouble with your mama, and then she called me on the road, and I got to come home from the road, and I got to whoop you. I don't like that. How about you do what you're supposed to do and leave me out that mess? Yep. It's like, man, would your mama tell you to do something, or you need to do something, do that. Because I don't want to do this. You don't want to get whooped, and I don't want to whoop you, but it's going to get done. But let me say something about being a leader and yelling at people and the coach and all that. A lot of times, Jimmy Johnson said, I treat you equally different. A lot of times, you got to know who you yelling at. Like Mike Zimmer can yell, and he might not have to get in Micah Parsons' face, but you heard me, right? I'm over here yelling, and I'm talking, and as long as I don't address Jacques personally, Jacques ain't going to be offended. Jacques knows I'm yelling at him with everybody else, but if I go, hey, 58, what's your problem? Da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where you can get the nuances. The more you know the players, the more you know who you can jump on and who not to jump on. And you can get your point across.
That's good. I used to ask my dude that, man. I was just say, 'cause I used to tell his coaches if they asked or if I saw how they interacted, I said, he don't really mind all that yelling and screaming and all that stuff, but he's a pleaser. And so, if you pat him on the back, you probably get even more than if you scream and yell at him. But that's just me. But I used to ask him, I said, what you think about that when the coaches do? They go, I just listen to what they say. I don't pay attention to how they say it.
Yeah, different. It's different. It's different stuff. It's different stuff with different players. My son didn't worry about that because he grew up with me. So it's like, you ain't going to yell at me like my dad is. So, I'm like, man, they can't whoop you. Just do your job. If you want to play, if you don't want to play, don't play. But if you want to play, learn, And
right.
It's just one of them things where you set standards. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. But I think Zimmer will do good. I think he's going to be good for the defense. I think he's going to be good for Micah. He ain't trying to be nobody's buddy. He's trying to hold you to a standard. And that old school stuff is going to be good.
And he is an old school coach. His daddy was a coach. He's a coach. Coaching is all he's ever known. Is all he's ever wanted to do. And I think they will. I like Dan Quinn. I thought Dan Quinn was a good coach. I thought Dan Quinn did a lot of good things. And so I'm not going to knock Dan Quinn, but I do think they will benefit from taking on the personality of Mike Zimmer, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, look what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. Was getting housed in the first half, and to a man, that's the mentality stuff you're talking about. To a man, Spagnuolo got on them, and then them defensive tackles, the defensive line for the Chiefs, started wrecking shop in the second half. Just driving, on what it was on 3rd and 1, they jumped in the backfield and knocked over. I mean, it was everybody on that line, not just Chris Jones. I can't remember 69's number. I mean his name, but that boy was killing people. And 56.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be one of them guys.
69 is just a guy who played probably the game of his life.
Well, he might get that stupid money because he on a 3-time Super Bowl team or something. I don't know. But I think Mike Zimmer gonna be good, man. I'm getting what Newey was talking about a couple of weeks ago. I'm getting that opioid feeling.
Yep. Get on that hopium, shoot it in your veins.
Yeah, hopium. There you go.
And then go sit in the corner and roll your eye back in the back of your head.
I don't know nothing about that, dog. That's a little too graphic right there.
All right, let's go take a quick trip around
the block. There you go.
It's Valentine's Day coming up Wednesday. Now, if you participate in this commercial holiday, let's just go around the room real quick. Do you participate in this commercial holiday?
You talking to me? Yeah. I try to.
What does your participation include? I mean, is it romantic dinner? Is it flowers? Is it candy? I mean, what's your go-to?
Let's see. I'll be married 33 years this year.
I got that over 2. Does that count?
You got what?
I did that over 2. Does that count?
Nah. No, hell no. But see, you throw me off. No, we can do whatever.
I'm sorry.
We can do whatever she want to do. If she don't want to do nothing, okay. If she wanted to go out to eat, okay, because her birthday is the 12th, so it's close.
Right.
So whatever she want to do, that's what we doing. It ain't for me. It ain't for me. I could care less because usually, with somebody been on the road for 25 years, I miss a lot of holidays. I really don't. And even when I was in the service, I missed a lot of holidays. So I really don't. It really don't matter to me. But whatever you want, I get out of a lot of trouble by going whatever you want to do, what you want to do for this day. So that's my go-to move right there. I don't know. Maybe that ain't as romantic as me thinking of something or all that. You know what? I get in a lot of less trouble letting her decide what she want.
Hey, man, it's whatever works for you, dog.
It works for me. It might not work for her all the time. It worked for me. Might not work for her all the time, but it damn sure worked for me. So there you go.
Well, I like to give guys ideas because some guys really truly stress out
for real
about what to do for your girl, your wife, your significant other.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, and I gave my son the same advice, and I'm not doing anything different for y'all. And I told him, and I've done this many times, which is find out your girl's 4, 5, 6 favorite things. Even if it's, and these don't have to be expensive things. It could be her favorite chips or her favorite cookie or her favorite restaurant. You can go get a gift card from there. Or, any of that kind of stuff, man, that she like. And you just put it in a little basket, man, with some crepe paper, and you good. Because what happens is they tend to be really emotional about those types of gifts because it shows that you're paying attention to what they like. And if you don't know what they like, you know what they like to eat or what kind of snacks they like, you can go in the bathroom, man, and just look on the counter and see what kind of lotion that they use and all that kind of stuff. Then just go out and buy a fresh bottle and put it in there. If y'all share an Amazon account, you can look on Amazon and see what you've been ordering and just order that or go pick it up at the store. There's all kinds of things you can do like that don't cost a lot of money. The sweetest thing a guy can do, really, truly, is go get a card that's blank on the inside and really just write your feelings out. Not the feelings that you tell the other fellas. Man, she aight. No, what you really feel about it, just write it in the card, give it to him.
Say,
You ain't have to do nothing else, dog.
Say, your attitude is stink, but your booty is big, and I love you. That what you talking about?
Exactly.
Oh, hell no.
Time for you. It worked.
No, sir.
Let me tell you the go-to, okay? This right here is the go-to.
Yeah.
This is the go-to, all right? I haven't done it in 20 years, but it's the go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, all you have to do is just a tad more complicated now. Just a tad, but it's still very doable. You go to the Target, Walmart, wherever. Go get a little pack of construction paper. This is not a lot of work, so don't get caught up like that. It's a little bit of work. And then what you do is you take the construction paper, get you a little hole puncher, a little 3-ring hole puncher, all right? So that you can punch holes in it to make it like a 3-ring binder. And then, listen carefully. Go to your computer and type in "Love Is" cartoon. You know, the two little naked people for you guys of a certain age.
Yeah.
And you can go through, like, the one I just pulled up today says, "Love is when his kisses make you tingle." Now, they probably got about 500 or 600 of these, if not more. You just print out the ones that you like. You take a glue stick, you put them on a construction paper. In the little holes, you bind them with a little piece of yarn. Voila. And make the ones that you pick appropriate to your relationship. And I promise you, she will hug and kiss you and give you some happy time. And you will not have even asked for
She's
it.
going to say, where we going to eat? You better know,
Hey, man. You can
oh,
present it.
You better know your girl. All that stuff. Basically, I agree with whatever you say. I do. I think that's a great idea. But you better damn well know your girl. For you know, you need to know your girl. Do she like expensive stuff? Do she like little stuff? You might be ass out.
They all like expensive stuff for the most part. They all like stuff. But in general, because I can only speak in generalities, most women are emotional creatures. When you speak to their emotions, because it's so hard for men to be emotional with women and be vulnerable like that, they typically melt because you've gone somewhere you don't typically go. And you've shared your emotions. And they typically enjoy that. Now, that don't mean you can't go out to dinner. It just means that's just part of it. And again, if you do that, it's the time, but the cost is negligible. So, I'm into gifts that show feelings and show thoughtfulness. You can buy a Coach bag or a Gucci bag or, some Jimmy Choo shoes or whatever she get down with.
I wrote poetry, dog. I wrote poetry, dog.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying,
Poetry is good too.
I don't know why you can't show your vulnerability, but I wrote poetry. I think I'm gonna write one tomorrow. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm still good at that.
You just told us one. What did you just said something about your big booty?
That's not poetry. That's bullshit. That's not poetry. No, I wrote poems.
Oh, you got real poetry.
From Tamia Hartfield, yeah, I wrote poems for sure. And she still got some.
Let's hear one, man.
I know.
Let's just hear a verse from one.
I don't think so.
Let's just hear a verse from one.
It's called
just
a thing.
Line,
you know what it's called? It's called privacy. It's called none of your damn business. That's what it's called.
I don't know that you really wrote no poetry.
Okay. I have nothing to prove.
Just be saying that.
I have nothing to prove.
Okay. That's fine if you want to take that approach.
Okay.
It's all good.
Well, you can ask her. When we get over here, you can call her and ask her.
I'm not finna call your wife, man. Hey, you mad at me?
Oh, really? You know me 30 years.
Not gonna do it,
you
man.
know. See, now you fronting. Stop playing.
I mean, you could put a.
Stop
you
playing.
Call me,
Stop playing. No,
and we
stop.
could all be on speakerphone.
Stop playing.
Anytime I've ever talked to your wife,
my
it's been
God.
normally it's been y'all have called me for some reason, and I say. Mia said, "What are you doing?" I say, "Normally I'm just putting my Bible up, studying some Bible verses."
Yeah.
And what can I do for you?
Yeah, hyperbole.
That's typically how it's going.
Yeah. There's a lot of hyperbole right there.
Have I not typically said I'm studying the Bible? I'm getting some Bible verses when y'all call. Typically, that's what I've said.
When have we called?
normally you have a question about something.
When
It
have
hasn't been.
when have
It
we
hasn't not
called?
been. It hasn't been recent.
When have we
But
called?
normally, if you call me with her, y'all in the car together. That's all.
Okay.
And so it come out like that.
Boy.
Yeah. So
You
normally
went
you
around
drive
the world.
somewhere.
You
and
went
something
around
pop
the
in your
world on that.
head.
Come back to the
Oh.
light, baby. Come back to the light. No, I'm just saying.
Before we get out of here, that's what I suggest for Valentine's Day.
We got
now
to
the
do-
easiest Valentine's.
Go
Hold
ahead.
up, man. The
Okay.
easiest Valentine's Day gift is what? Go to YouTube, look up the Real Jacques Talk, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and register for 2 tickets to see the Mavs on Valentine's Day night against Wemby, who had I think he had a triple-double with 10 blocks the other night. Number 1 pick of the draft. He's a freak show with his ability, and you don't want to miss that. That being said, you ready to move on to Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, I was just thinking about Wemby, man. 7'5". Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
can cross over and shoot the 3 like a point guard.
Can block
But,
shots across
it's,
the whole lane. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But Shannon Sharp been in the news quite a bit. He had Cat Williams on about a month ago. That thing has done 58 million views. The interview he had. Then he had Monique on the other day. That drew some controversy from some things she said. He was in a war of words with Mike Epps because he said Mike Epps lied on him and tried to get on the show and then talked about him. But you seem to have a different take on Shannon Sharp and all the attention that Club Shay Shay is drawing.
Yeah, I think it's bad for the culture, man. You got people going on there airing each other out. You know, it used to be where comedians, we didn't even know they didn't like each other. We didn't even know they fought. All of this, the space that they have on his show to go air each other out is bad, man. It's just a bad look. You interview Steve Harvey, you interview Cedric the Entertainer, you interview Ricky Smiley, and they really don't say anything bad about each other. But then you bring Cat on, and you let Cat eviscerate them. You let Cat just eat them to death, and it's like, bruh. I learned something all the time from you guys in the media, you and Clarence, especially when he's on and y'all start talking. When y'all said he let that interview get away from him, I didn't understand that until I saw the Monique interview, and I realized that Shannon is not trying to corral them. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to keep it 100. He letting them do whatever they want to do. And is that what y'all meant?
Yeah, he's not challenging anything that they say.
Right, okay.
And so when you're not challenged, and his excuse, and I like Shannon, and I like the show, and it's interesting how it's evolved. But his is, well, I didn't know they were lying. And a lot of it you don't know. But sometimes when people say things, you just have to challenge them. Well, everybody's out to get me. Okay, why is everyone out to get you? Why is it nobody else has had these issues except you? And then, at a certain point, you just have to accept the answer. But, that whole, and I go back to the most obvious. Cat Williams saying, well, I read 3,000 books in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, Cat, pull your phone out right quick, dog. That's like 11 books a day. Was these Dr. Seuss books?
Yeah.
And that's okay if that was the case. Or is this, War and Peace? Or something in between? Because ain't nobody reading 10 books a day, dog. You just not. And so that's what I mean by challenging people. And, everybody can be challenged, in a professional way because they're coming in your space because they trust you. Trust you, it's like me and you. We can ask each other uncomfortable questions from time to time because, you know that the other person only has your best interest at heart. So even if it's something you don't want to hear,
yeah,
like, hey, man, I think you've been doing this a lot lately. You okay? What's up with you?
Yeah, you're
It's okay because you trust that person is looking out for you, even if you might not feel like having the conversation that they're trying to have.
Right.
But in Shannon, so that's why they come to talk to Shannon, because I can say what I want to say here. It's a safe space.
Yeah, but Monique regurgitated all the stuff that she just regurgitated the stuff that she had before, and then a lot of stuff she aired out Kevin Hart. That I hadn't heard that before. Why? Why is it necessary? And then I just think Shannon, it's bad that he's benefiting from all this dirt. And then he talking about fighting somebody. He was at the damn Laker game trying to fight Steven Adams from the damn Grizzlies. Shannon got 2 hip replacements.
Well,
he got 2 hip. He better sit his ass down somewhere. What he better do?
Well, Mike Epps. Well, now Shannon has to realize this. All the stuff Mike Epps said, he mad because Mike Epps said, I never called to be on this show. Whatever he said. He's a comedian, man. What is it that comedians do when they tell stories? They exaggerate stories. It's no different than taking creative license with a book, with a movie when you basing it off a book. That's just what comedians do. And so I didn't find any malice in there. I did think it was funny that Mike Epps replied to Shannon, because Shannon was like, I'll pull up on you and see, basically, we'll see what you really all about. And I thought it was funny, man. Mike Epps was like, well, you can pull up, but I don't fight.
yeah.
Basically, he was like, I got this gun. I mean, he didn't say that, but clearly he was telling you, like, I don't fight. So if you pull up, you got to be ready, because I'm not going to do no fighting.
50-something years old, Tom. 50-something years old with two artificial hips talking about pulling up on somebody. Man, please, go sit down sometime.
The fact of man.
Huh?
That's that football alpha male coming out where you've been used to being bigger and stronger than anybody your whole life.
Yeah.
And so you trying to exert your physicality.
Yeah, we call that in the hood. We call that wolf tickets. You selling them damn wolf tickets. You crying wolf. Stop that. Shannon, that's what I'm saying.
So I think
it's just bad, man.
I think Shannon got a good space. He just got to figure out who he wants to be in that space.
Yeah.
Because, you'll get somebody, and because he's been a celebrity, and because now he's got a platform that's popping, you're going to have 1 million people trying to get on there so that they can, make themselves big. Mike Epps, he did all that and responded. Why? So I can drive tickets to my concert and my venue and all this other stuff and my Netflix special.
Well, Shannon does good.
Everybody coming on there.
He does good interviews. I mean, the Usher interview, the Chris Brown interview, and them guys didn't have no beef. It's just the damn rappers. It's the rappers and the actors that's having beef.
Well, they've been having beef forever. It's just now everybody got a platform to hear about it.
Yeah.
And then I got to come on and defend myself. And so, I mean, it's a chicken and egg theory.
Yeah, before we get out of here, let me say this. We can talk about this another time, but I'm tired of the C.D. Lamb and Micah Parsons podcast already. How about we'll get into that Thursday. How about we do it and don't talk about it? That's what I'm saying. They need to do. I don't want to hear what they got to say. I don't, because it's either do something before you say something. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's a different world, man.
It is, very much so.
You don't have to like it, but it's a different world.
It is, very much so.
And we'll talk about that Thursday. It's a good conversation to have. Remember, you can find a book, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders and the Making of Men. I spent the 2022 season with Deion in Jackson State. You want to hear why he's going to be successful in Colorado? You can read this book and find out. You can find it at BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, wherever you find your books, you can find it. Hey, it's on Audible. If you want to listen to the audio book, get that done. We always appreciate Green and Lodge. Show doesn't happen without them. Smokey John's Barbecue. You know what? I got to thinking about Smokey John's Barbecue and all the stuff that they do. That Jam Session Bowl. I hope some of y'all enjoyed the big game pack this weekend. But the Jam Session Bowl with Smokey John's Barbecue, now that the football season is over, we got to check with Joe's schedule, because my schedule's a little freer now. And we may just go do the show out in Crowley one day and just show up with the Jam Session Bowl. Now that I got a little time. And he got the perfect setup. I'm ashamed to show y'all his setup, because you'd be like, why is his setup so much better than your setup when it comes to the podcast? But the Jam Session Bowl, y'all know what it is, but I'm going to remind you, just in case. That's a mac and cheese, a mashed potato base. Oh, I got to tell y'all something about the Jam Session Bowl. With your choice, 2 out of 5 smoked meats, all right? It's delicious. And then All the stuff you find on a loaded baked potato, like cheese and chives and bacon bits, butter. They put all that on it, and then, man, they drench it with sauce or they drizzle it with sauce. And it's fantastic. All right, it really is. It's time. I haven't had one in a minute, so it's about that time for me. So we should probably really make this happen, dog, since my schedule's a little freer on Thursdays now. But that being said, if you need some Smoky John's in your life sooner than that, you can go to the marketplace on SmokyJohns.com and get the sauce or the rub. I had this rub on a burger the other day. Woo! Fantastic. It really is. It's great. Sauce, Matt McLaren used to drink it straight out the bottle. Real talk, he did that. And then if you need it more immediately in your life, man, go to H-E-B. It's on the shelves. The rub is on the shelves. Like, you can walk in the store, grab it, pay for it, get back in your car, and depending on where you live, you can have Smoky John's at your crib in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just that simple. But, Smoky John's Barbecue, 1820 West Mockingbird. Get by there. Try the Jam Session Bowl if you don't try anything else. It's on the secret menu, so if you don't hear about it, if you don't see about it, you'll know I told you that it's there. Trust me. All right? That being said, till we chat again, you guys be blessed.